This is Telluride, Colorado. Maybe you've been here once before, maybe a few times, or maybe it's still on your bucket list for skiing or for summer adventures. This is a place where just being outside and staying active and constantly getting fresh air shows up in a lot of different ways. And locals just naturally build a rhythm around that. After living in Telluride full time for 16 years, the two questions I hear the very most are, what is it actually like to live here? And don't you go skiing every single day? Well, this list comes from the Telluride Tourism Board. It's not a standard tourism checklist. These are also just the everyday things many of us do as much as possible, and we build our weeks around them. They're part of what makes winter here feel full, balanced, and sustainable, whether skiing is the focus that day or not. And if you're planning a winter trip and simply want to understand how flexible the experience visiting here really is, this is meant to give you a good sense of that. So if skiing isn't necessarily your priority every single day that you're here, this is just a really good look at how winter works really beautifully here in Telluride, no matter what the priority. And stick around to the end, because although this video is about the everyday, I'll go through two activities that are extra special and are maybe once a year kinds of things. But for the purposes of planning your vacation, they're absolutely worth scheduling in addition to skiing on the ski resort. First up, and my favorite, is winter fat biking. Now, don't let the goofy wide tires fool you. This is a super fun activity, and it really is its own winter sport. In some ways, it will remind you of skiing, and in other ways of mountain biking. But one thing is for sure, it's great cardio, and it's really fun. It's always an adventure. The best place to get started is really just any of the Nordic ski trails. So in Telluride, that means the Valley Floor open space, or in Mountain Village, that means the Nordic trails that go through the golf course and are well groomed almost every day anyhow. You can also take them on single track, especially trails that already have established foot traffic, to pack in a trail for you. The next several activities are based in the Telluride Town Park. Now, we don't have an indoor rec center like some places do, but the town park provides a central hub. I'm talking about a perfect sledding hill. I'm talking about two outdoor ice skating areas, and I'm talking about an indoor hockey rink / ice skating rink. Now let's talk about Nordic skiing. If you're doing it in the Telluride Town Park, there's a short loop that runs the perimeter of the whole park area. It's just a great way to get some light cardio. It truly is just as difficult or as challenging as you want it to be. It's a full family activity if you want it to be. If you really want a physical challenge, try skate skiing instead. It turns up the cardio quite a bit, and it's a full body workout. You can rent both classic and skate skis at the Telluride Nordic Association Center. Telluride Town Park backs up into the Bear Creek Preserve, which is a giant open space that leads eventually to a dramatic waterfall about 1.5 miles into the trail. You may have already done this hike in the summertime, but either way, I highly suggest you also check it out in the wintertime. You can do this either by foot or by fat bike. When you're in Town Park, you could rent anything you would need for any of these activities. I'm talking about cross-country skis, sleds, and ice skates. If you choose to go hiking up Bear Creek, don't fall for the temptation to rent those snowshoes at the Telluride Nordic Center. Any local will tell you it's just a little bit too much, and sometimes it just feels like you end up tripping over your feet. If you're worried about slipping and sliding, my tip is just buy a $20 pair of yak tracks. They give you enough traction to walk across a frozen pond. Having Nordic skiing, skating, and sledding all in one space that you can literally just walk to from town is really unique and really special. So you'll see locals there almost every day doing any of these activities or just playing fetch with our dog. And that's why it becomes such a hub for locals, and it feels like a really special place when you're visiting to just feel the community and see all that there is to do as part of our regular regular wintertime rhythm. Now let's talk about two special experiences that maybe we only do about once a year. The first is a horse-drawn sleigh. Now, this just kind of speaks for itself. I don't think I even need to elaborate. If you want this to turn into a grand adventure that starts by a sleigh and ends at an elaborate dinner table, call Telluride Sleighs and Wagons. They'll set up an unforgettable day in the snow for you with a fantastic meal and world-class views. That's Telluride Sleighs and Wagons. If you want something a little bit more simple, just call Schmid Ranch and they'll take you on a variety of smaller, shorter, more simple daytime adventures through the forests on horse sleigh. Next up, heli skiing. You go heli skiing when you want perfect conditions, amazing terrain, and a guided experience. Now, Telluride Heli Tracks is the go-to outfitter. These guys are veterans and pros with a very large footprint of terrain access, and they'll give you an unforgettable day. Now, they can fill up quickly, and not everybody here knows that there's another option. If you contact Silverton Mountain, they will fly just over the hill to you and meet at the Telluride Airport. And they have a really big service area as well, but they'll both give you an unforgettable day of amazing skiing in world-class terrain and with conditions that are worth it every single time, no matter what. So back to where we started. I hope this gives you an idea of a well-rounded way to kind of build out your winter adventures in Telluride. And a lot of people just like to know what it's like to live here. That gives you just a taste of what we do outside in the wintertime, because honestly, you can't go skiing all day, every day. And here's a little secret. Locals and second homeowners absolutely love the off seasons here. Typically, that means when the ski resort is closed and the pace really slows down. Skiing will always be one of the main reasons why people choose to come to Telluride. It's an iconic mountain. It's truly a world-class ski resort. And for a lot of people, that's the very first draw and connection they ever have to this place. With the small exception of people who come to Bluegrass Festival one time and then they actually never ever leave. Okay, but seriously, what tends to surprise people is that summer is actually what keeps many of us here year after year. And I'm talking about the hiking, the biking, the river, the waterfalls, the wildflowers, interesting and amazing festivals, and long days with perfect weather. And the way that town and people just naturally open up in an environment like that. A lot of people end up investing in Telluride just as much for the ski life as for the feeling of a perfect summer paradise in the mountain air. But above all, what really defines life here is just the ability to be outside, stay active, move with the seasons without every single day needing to be some big production. So if you've ever wondered what living in Telluride actually feels like beyond vacation days and behind the highlight reels and the powdered glam photos, this is just a small glimpse into that rhythm and into why so many people choose to make this place part of their lives long term. And for those who find themselves drawn to that kind of lifestyle, not just for a visit, something to return to or build around, that's really the perspective that we focus on every day. Just helping people understand how Telluride and the San Juan Mountains actually live and how a place like this might fit into their lives, big picture and long term. If this kind of perspective is useful to you, you're welcome to spend more time on this growing channel. I share how life and how real estate in Telluride and the San Juan Mountains actually works season by season and beyond the highlight reels.